The thermometer broke 3 days ago, but my skin remembers. 125 degrees. The kind of heat that doesn't just touch you. It enters you, becomes part of your blood, settles into your bones like an unwanted guest who refuses to leave. We found this place at dawn, when the sky was still painted in shades of purple and gold. A shallow depression between two massive rock formations, carved by winds that have been shaping this landscape since before humans walked the earth. Just enough shade to survive the midday sun. Just enough shelter to call it a temporary home. Sahara spread our worn blanket on the sandy ground while I gathered what little brush I could find scattered among the rocks. Everything here is dry. The bushes crackle under my fingers like ancient parchment. The air itself feels like it could catch fire if someone struck a match. Even breathing feels like work, each inhale bringing hot, dusty air deep into my lungs. I have lived in this desert for 55 years. My father lived here before me, and his father before him, stretching back through generations I cannot count. We know its moods like we know the faces of our own children. We understand its secrets, its mercy, and its cruelty. We have learned to read the subtle signs, the way the sand shifts before a storm, the color of the sky at dusk that predicts tomorrow's weather, the patterns in the rocks that lead to hidden water. But even after all this time, there are days when the desert reminds you that you are nothing but a guest in its house, a visitor who has overstayed his welcome. A creature of flesh and blood in a world of stone and sand that cares nothing for flesh and blood. This is one of those days. The sun climbs higher, a merciless eye staring down at us from a sky so blue it hurts to look at it. I can feel sweat forming on my forehead, gathering in the creases of my weathered skin, and evaporating before it even has a chance to run down my face. The heat steals the moisture from my body as quickly as my body can produce it. Water is precious here, more precious than gold, more precious than silver, more precious than love itself. We have 2 goat skins, patched and repatched over the years until they are more stitches than original leather. Enough water for today. Maybe tomorrow if we are careful. After that, we walk to the oasis, or we do not walk at all. There is no third option. The desert does not negotiate. Sahara sits in the meager shade cast by the largest rock, her hands busy with the bread dough she prepared before dawn. She learned to bake from her grandmother, a woman who could make a feast from nothing but flour and patience. A woman who could find nourishment in the most barren landscape. I watch Sahara work now, watching the rhythm of her hands as they knead and shape. The quiet concentration on her face that reminds me of that grandmother I never met. Her movements are precise, economical. Decades of practice have eliminated any wasted motion. She knows exactly how much pressure to apply, exactly how long to work the dough, exactly when it is ready. This knowledge lives in her hands, not in her head. The kind of wisdom that cannot be taught from books. Only passed down through generations of women working side by side. She looks up, sensing my gaze. Our eyes meet across the small space between us. No words needed. After 30 years together, words have become almost unnecessary. She knows what I am thinking. She always does. There is a slight furrow in her brow. She senses something too. Something in the air. Something wrong. The rocks around us are ancient. They have watched 1,000 generations come and go. They have seen empires rise and fall. They have witnessed droughts that lasted decades and floods that carved new rivers through the sand. They will watch 1,000 more generations after we are gone, unchanged, unmoved, eternal. Sometimes I wonder what stories they would tell if stones could speak, what wisdom they would share, what warnings they would give. I check our supplies, inventorying what we have with the careful attention of someone who knows that miscounting could mean death. Flour, enough for perhaps 5 more days of bread if we are frugal. Salt, a small cloth bag, maybe half full. Dried dates, a double handful, wrinkled and sweet. A small bag of rice, Enough for 2 meals. Maybe 3. Not much, but enough. The desert teaches you to be grateful for enough. Wanting more is a luxury for people with roofs over their heads, for people who sleep in soft beds and wake to the sound of birdsong instead of wind. Out here, enough is everything. Enough is survival. Enough is another day of life. The first sign of danger comes not from sight, but from sound. A scratching, faint at first, almost imperceptible. Like dry leaves being dragged across stone, like fingernails on rock, like something moving in the shadows, testing its environment, preparing. But there are no leaves here, no trees to drop them, nothing but rock and sand and the merciless sun. Soraya's hands stop moving mid-need. Her head tilts slightly to one side, that familiar gesture that means she is listening with every fiber of her being. She heard it too. Her eyes scan the ground around us, moving slowly, methodically, missing nothing. I hold my breath, straining to hear. The sound stops. Silence fills the space it left behind, a silence that feels heavier than before, more meaningful. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe the heat is playing tricks on my mind. It happens. Out here, where the line between earth and sky shimmers and dances, reality bends like light through water. Mirages appear on the horizon. The mind sees what it wants to see, hears what it fears to hear. We go back to our tasks. Soraya returns to her dough, though I notice her movements are less fluid now, more alert. I sort through our tools with hands that are not quite steady. The knife with its worn wooden handle, the fire striker that has served us for 20 years, the old rope that has held 100 loads. The rhythm of survival. Simple movements repeated 1,000 times until they become as natural as breathing. But Soraya does not return to her rhythm, not fully. I notice her stillness. The way her eyes keep moving across the ground, even as her hands work the dough. She is searching for something. Watching. Waiting. Her instincts are sharper than mine. They always have been. Where I rely on experience and memory, she relies on something deeper. Something ancient and primal that I cannot name, but have learned to trust. Then her hand rises slowly. One finger extended, pointing. I follow her gaze to the base of the largest rock formation, where shadow meets sunlight in a sharp line. At first, I see nothing. Just shadow and sand. Just the play of light on stone. But then the shadow moves. It emerges from a crack I had not noticed. A gap in the rock, no wider than my hand. A fissure that must lead deep into the cool darkness beneath the stone. A hidden world invisible from the surface. And what emerges from that darkness makes my blood run cold despite the crushing heat. A scorpion. But not like any scorpion I have seen in 5 decades of desert life. This one is massive. Longer than my forearm from elbow to fingertip. Its armor-plated body gleaming like polished obsidian in the harsh sunlight. The tail curves up and over its back, the stinger catching the light like a cruel promise, like a threat made visible. The giant Iranian scorpion, Hemiscorpius lepturus. I know this creature. I know it the way you know a nightmare that has haunted you since childhood. I know its reputation. One sting can kill a healthy man in hours, destroying tissue, causing organs to fail one by one. For someone already weakened by heat and thirst, death would come faster, much faster. It does not move toward us. Not yet. It sits at the base of the rock, adjusting to the light, its multiple eyes taking in this new world after the darkness of its underground home. Its pincers open and close slowly, testing the air, sensing vibrations, looking for prey. Every movement is ancient, perfected over 400 million years of evolution. This creature was hunting when dinosaurs walked the earth. It will be hunting long after humans are forgotten. We are 10 feet away. Too close, far too close. Soraya's hand finds mine. Her grip is tight but steady. No panic. That is not her way. In all our years together, I have never seen her surrender to fear. She respects it. Oh yes, she respects it. She acknowledges its presence, its power, its purpose. But she never surrenders. Never lets it control her actions. Never lets it cloud her judgment. I squeeze back, a silent message passing between us. We will survive this. We always do. The scorpion begins to move. It does not rush. That is not how they hunt. They are patient, methodical. They have been perfecting their technique for 400 million years, longer than mountains have existed, longer than the continents have held their current shapes. What is one more prey to them? What is one more kill in an endless line of kills stretching back to the dawn of complex life? It moves along the base of the rock, following the shade line where cool shadow meets burning sun, moving toward our blanket, toward our supplies, toward us. I grab the nearest thing I can reach, a stick I had gathered for tonight's fire, barely as thick as my thumb. It would do nothing against those pincers, nothing against that stinger. But it is something. And in survival, something is always better than nothing. Empty hands are helpless hands. Soraya does not reach for a weapon. Instead, she reaches for the empty water gourd sitting beside her, the one we emptied this morning, light now, hollow, useless for defense. But she has a plan. I can see it forming behind her dark eyes, taking shape like clouds building before a storm. She always has a plan. The scorpion stops. Its body tenses, legs bending slightly, tail rising higher. It has sensed something. Our movement, our fear, the vibrations of our racing hearts transmitted through the sand. It turns toward us, those multiple eyes catching the light, ancient and alien and utterly without mercy. The standoff begins. Minutes pass like hours in the killing heat. Sweat drips into my eyes, blurring my vision, stinging, but I do not dare blink. I cannot look away. The scorpion does not blink either. It has no eyelids, no need for them. Those eyes have watched prey since before humans learned to walk upright, before we climbed down from trees, before we discovered fire. They are patient in a way we can never understand. My muscles ache from holding the stick raised, trembling with the effort. My throat screams for water, each breath a reminder of how little moisture remains in my body. The sun beats down like a hammer on an anvil, and we are the metal being shaped, being tested, being forged or broken. The scorpion makes its decision. It charges, not fast by any human measure. Scorpions are ambush predators, not sprinters. They wait and strike, conserving energy in a land where energy is precious. But it is fast enough. Fast enough to close the distance before I can react. Fast enough to reach our blanket, our supplies, our sanctuary. I swing the stick, a desperate arc born of fear rather than skill. It misses by inches, whistling through the hot air, stirring dust. The scorpion does not even flinch. 400 million years of evolution have given it no fear of wooden sticks. It keeps coming, those pincers reaching, that tail rising higher, positioning for the strike that will end everything. Then Soraya moves. Not away from the danger, but toward it. In that moment, I understand why I have loved her for 30 years, why I will love her until my last breath. She does not retreat. She does not freeze. She acts. She throws the empty gourd, not at the scorpion, but past it. The gourd bounces off the rock with a hollow crack, the sound echoing across the stones, sharp and sudden in the heavy silence. The scorpion stops, turns toward the sound. Instinct older than thought, older than survival itself. Movement means prey. Sound means opportunity. 400 million years of successful hunting have wired this response into every fiber of its being. In that moment of distraction, Soraya does something that stops my heart. She reaches down and grabs our blanket, the blanket the scorpion is now standing on, and flips it upward with a single powerful motion. Her arms move with strength born of necessity, of a lifetime of hard work, of refusing to be helpless. The scorpion goes airborne, just for a second, just long enough. It lands in a patch of direct sunlight, 5 feet from the shade, exposed to the full fury of 125 degrees. And I watch as understanding dawns, the full force of the desert sun hitting its dark exoskeleton, heating it like a stone in a fire. Scorpions are desert creatures, yes. They have adapted to survive where other creatures would perish in hours. But even they have limits. Even they seek shade in the worst of the midday heat. Direct sunlight at these temperatures can overheat them in minutes, cooking them inside their own armor. The same exoskeleton that protects them from predators becomes an oven that kills them from outside. The scorpion scrambles for shade, any shade. Its legs churn against the sand, seeking purchase, seeking safety, seeking the cool darkness it left behind. But Soraya is already moving, already blocking its path with the blanket spread wide, herding it further into the killing light. I understand now. The desert that threatens to kill us will kill our enemy instead. I grab another blanket, join her. Together we form a barrier, a wall of fabric that keeps the creature trapped in the sun's lethal embrace. It tries to go left. Soraya blocks it, her movements quick and decisive. It tries to go right. I am there, closing the gap. It tries to charge through. We hold firm, stepping forward in unison, driving it back. The minutes stretch, each one an eternity. The scorpion's movements become slower, less coordinated. Its legs stumble, its tail droops. The heat that threatens to kill us is killing it faster, its dark armor absorbing the sun's energy, cooking it from the outside while we sweat and endure. Finally, it stops moving. We wait, patient, cautious. We have both seen creatures play dead before, the stillness that precedes a final desperate attack. We have both seen the cost of assuming victory too soon. 5 minutes pass. 10. The scorpion does not stir. The sand around it is hot enough to burn skin. Soraya approaches first, always braver than me, though she would deny it to her dying breath. She pokes the creature with a long stick, keeping distance, respecting death even after it has been dealt. Nothing. She flips it over. Nothing. The legs curl inward. That unmistakable sign of death, of muscles that have permanently relaxed, of a life that has ended. We are safe. The relief hits me like a physical force, like a wave breaking over my head. My knees buckle. I sit down hard on the hot sand, not caring about the burn through my thin pants. We are alive. We survived. Again. Soraya comes to sit beside me. She does not speak. She rarely does. Words feel inadequate for moments like this. Instead, she leans her shoulder against mine, her presence solid and warm and real. A small gesture, a universe of meaning. I think about what just happened, how close we came, how a creature smaller than my arm, weighing less than one of our goatskins, could have ended everything. All our years together, all our memories, all our love, extinguished by one sting, gone like smoke in the desert wind. The desert does not care about history. It does not care about love or hope or dreams. It does not care about the stories we tell ourselves or the meanings we create. It only cares about the moment, this moment, now, survive or die, adapt or perish. There is no appeal to higher authority, no mercy petition to file, and in this moment, we are still here, still breathing, still together. The sun begins its descent, moving toward the western horizon like a ball of molten copper rolling down an invisible slope, still hot, still merciless, but somehow gentler than the peak hours. The shadows lengthen, reaching toward us like old friends returning after a long absence. I stand, My legs protest. They want rest, want water, want relief from this endless day. But there is work to do. There is always work to do. That is the price of survival in a place that gives nothing for free. We need to move our camp. This location is compromised, poisoned by what happened here. Where there is one scorpion of that size, there are likely more. The crack in the rock probably leads to a nest, a whole colony of them hiding in the cool darkness below, waiting for night to hunt. We were fools to camp here, lucky fools, but fools nonetheless. Soraya is already packing. She works efficiently, silently, every motion purposeful and precise. This is her domain, the organization of our life, the ordering of our survival. She knows where everything goes, knows what we can carry, knows what we must leave behind. Within minutes, our meager belongings are bundled and ready to move. We walk. Not far. There is another rock formation perhaps 100 meters distant, a different face of the same ancient stone that has sheltered travelers for millennia. But far enough to sleep without fear of another visitor in the night, far enough to find peace. The new site is smaller but safer. No cracks in the rock, no hidden fissures leading to underground chambers, no hiding places for creatures that hunt in darkness. The stone here is solid, unbroken, tested by my careful examination. Soraya approves with a single nod, that small gesture that means acceptance, agreement, trust. I build the fire as the sun touches the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink and purple that make the earlier violence seem like a dream. The flames leap up from dry brush, eager and hungry, pushing back the coming darkness. Fire has been humanity's companion since the beginning of our species. Our first technology, our first magic, our first weapon against the night that wants to swallow us. Soraya cooks the bread she started before everything went wrong. Her hands move with the same rhythm as before, as if death had not come within feet of us, as if our hearts had not nearly stopped. This is her strength, the ability to return to normalcy, to find peace in routine even after chaos, to create order from disorder. I envy this gift even as I depend on it. The smell of baking bread fills the air, mixing with wood smoke and the cooling desert breeze. My stomach growls, loud and insistent, reminding me that I have not eaten since dawn. Fear has a way of making you forget the body's needs, pushing hunger and thirst to the background while survival takes center stage. But now, with the danger past, everything comes rushing back. We eat in silence as the stars emerge. The bread is perfect. Crispy on the outside, soft on the inside, seasoned with salt and the memory of how close we came to never tasting anything again. I watch Soraya eat, watch the firelight dance across her face, watch the way she closes her eyes with the first bite. After 3 decades together, I still find new things to admire about her. The stars continue their ancient dance. The fire continues its ancient song. And we continue our ancient partnership. 2 humans against an uncaring universe, finding meaning in the struggle, finding love in the survival. Soraya moves closer to the fire as the temperature drops. The desert gives nothing freely. What was unbearable heat becomes genuine cold within hours, the same air that burned our lungs now sharp and biting. I add more wood to the flames, building them higher, creating a sphere of warmth in the vast darkness. She leans against me. Her hair smells of smoke and bread and something uniquely her, a scent I have known for 30 years, a scent that means home, more than any building ever could. I put my arm around her shoulders, drawing her close, feeling her warmth mix with the warmth of the fire. Tomorrow, we will walk to the oasis. We will refill our water skins from the spring that has never failed us. We will rest in the shade of real trees, palms that have stood there since my grandfather's time, maybe longer. We might trade with other travelers if we meet them, exchange news and stories from distant places we will never see. But that is tomorrow. Tonight, we are here, together, alive. The desert tried to kill us today. It sent one of its deadliest creatures, armed with venom and armor and 400 million years of evolutionary perfection. It caught us in our moment of rest, vulnerable and exposed, and we won. Not through strength. We have no strength against such a creature. Not through speed. We cannot outrun what we cannot see coming. But through something the scorpion could not understand. Partnership. Sahara saw the danger first. Her sharp eyes, her keen instincts, her awareness of everything around us. Without these, I would never have known the threat until it was too late. I would have reached for our supplies and felt the sting, the burning, the spreading death. Sahara solved the problem. Her quick thinking, her knowledge of the desert's ways, her willingness to act when action was needed, these saved us. I never would have thought to use the sun against our enemy. I was ready to fight with a stick, like some primitive ancestor facing a predator with nothing but desperation. She found a better way. We survived because we are two. Because we complete each other in ways that neither of us fully understands. Because what I lack, she provides. Because what she needs, I give. Because alone, we are vulnerable. Together, we are strong. The fire crackles and pops, sending sparks spiraling up toward the stars. Somewhere in the darkness, a nightbird calls to its mate, a soft, haunting sound that echoes off the rocks. The desert is alive with sounds I have learned to love over 55 years, sounds that others might find threatening, but that feel to me like familiar voices welcoming me home. I take Sahara's hand in mine. Her fingers intertwine with my own, rough against rough, weathered against weathered. These hands have built shelters that withstood storms. They have dug wells that provided water when all seemed lost. They have carried children across distances that would break a city dweller. They have buried friends who did not survive this harsh land. These hands have known joy and sorrow in equal measure, and still they reach for each other. "Thank you," I whisper. The first words either of us has spoken since morning, since before the scratching sound that changed everything. She does not answer with words. She does not need to. She squeezes my hand once, a pressure that says everything words cannot. I understand. I have always understood. Some communication goes deeper than language. The night deepens around us. The stars wheeling overhead in patterns my ancestors used to navigate, to mark seasons, to tell stories that have been passed down for generations. The fire burns low but steady, fed just enough to keep the darkness at bay. We should sleep. Tomorrow's walk will be long, and our bodies need rest. But neither of us moves. These moments are too precious. The peace after survival, the calm after storm. The quiet knowledge that we are still here, still breathing, still together, when so easily we might not be. I learned something today. Not something new, perhaps. I have known it all my life, but something I had let slip to the back of my mind, pushed aside by the daily routine of survival. The desert is dangerous. Life is fragile. Death waits in every shadow, in every crack in the rocks, in every moment of carelessness. But fear is not the lesson. Caution is not the point. The lesson is this: every moment we survive is a gift. Every breath we take is borrowed time, given to us by a universe that owes us nothing. Every sunrise we see, every meal we share, every night we spend together under the stars, these are not rights. They are privileges. And the only proper response to privileges is gratitude. Gratitude for the sun that gives life, even as it threatens death. Gratitude for the shade that shelters us when we need it most. Gratitude for the water that sustains us, that we must ration and protect and never take for granted. Gratitude for the fire that warms us, that cooks our food, that keeps the darkness at bay. And gratitude, most of all, for each other. For this woman beside me, who has shared my journey for 30 years. For her strength when I am weak, her courage when I am afraid, her wisdom when I am lost. For the partnership that has carried us through dangers I have lost count of, that has seen us through seasons of plenty and seasons of want, that will carry us through whatever comes next. Sahara shifts against me, finding a more comfortable position. Her breathing slows, deepens, the rhythm of approaching sleep. I should sleep too. My body demands it. But I want to hold this moment a little longer. This peace, this warmth, this gratitude that fills me like water fills an empty vessel. The scorpion is dead. Its body lies somewhere behind us in the cooling sand, already being reclaimed by the desert that created it. Tomorrow, or the day after, other creatures will find it. Ants, beetles, the small scavengers that clean the desert floor. Nothing is wasted here. Everything returns to the cycle, and we continue on. Survivors, travelers, partners in this endless journey across a land that does not care if we live or die. The fire settles into its coals, glowing orange and red in the darkness. Sahara's breathing becomes deeper, steadier. She has found sleep at last. I adjust my arm around her, holding her close, feeling her warmth against the growing chill of the desert night. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, new dangers, new opportunities to fail or succeed. The walk to the oasis will be long and hot. The water we have will barely last. There will be other obstacles I cannot foresee, other tests I cannot prepare for. But tonight, I rest. Tonight, I hold the woman I love. Tonight I am grateful for every breath, every heartbeat, every moment of this difficult, dangerous, precious life. And in the desert, at 125 degrees, under a sky full of stars that have watched humans struggle and survive since the beginning of our kind, that is victory enough. The fire dies to embers, the stars wheel on, and we sleep, together, alive, grateful, ready to face whatever tomorrow brings. This is the way of the desert. This is the way of survival. This is the way of love.